Well, hey everyone, I'm Amanda,
And I'm Sarah.
and this is I'm Your Mother Now podcast,
Yes, it is.
episode 6.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll get
Okay.
there.
Wow, 6 episodes.
Yeah, you have to lower your volume.
I did lower my volume.
Don't yell at me.
Okay. Okay. Well, that actually gets us to where we were going, which is
Yes,
that my sister and I have synced up our menstrual cycles.
yeah.
Okay. And we were doing real great in life. And then what was it? Would you say 2.5 days ago, Amanda?
It's it's felt like this whole week, honestly. I'll be honest with
Okay.
you.
That's fair because we didn't have Monday. Like Monday was weird and
The vibes have been incredibly off this week. Uh, I have never felt more thrown off from a long weekend. Do right now.
cool.
Yay! Hope everyone is doing great and a really great start to September where we can really focus on laboring, right? Like Labor Day weekend is done, and now it's like, all right, like get back to work,
for
everyone.
for those of us not watching live, my sister and I have exchanged exuberant thumbs up with dripping sarcasm. Um, so yes, we are in what is called the luteal phase of our menstrual cycles.
Ludi
And I
loo!
Yeah, Ludi Lou indeed. And I think it's interesting because everybody knows PMS, right? Everybody will just say, "Oh, I'm having PMS," or "Are you having PMS?" And but nobody even really like not nobody, but a lot of people don't use that properly.
Sure.
So
You got to
just to
connect the
give
dots.
you gotta well you should kind of understand how your body works, which we're really not taught in any type of way. Like men and women are not taught about women's bodies in an appropriate and helpful fashion, right? Because telling me that I'm just irrational and moody once a month is really not helping.
It's not. It's not. Not helping anyone.
It's like again, here's another exuberant thumbs up. Like, oh, you hit that nail on the head.
It that reminds me of just obviously my friends have kids, and sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, I'll let you continue about the phase, but just about sexual education and the lack of it, because I feel like I've heard so many stories where everyone finally figures out how your cycle works when they're trying to get pregnant, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like you can't just get pregnant every day of the month, and that's when it really starts, like, coming
Yes.
together for some
Yes.
folks. That's all.
You're right, because that's actually when I started understanding my cycle too, is because I wanted to get pregnant. So I had to download that
Flow.
pink app.
I don't even remember what it's called. I think it's
I
called
mean, I mean
Flow.
at this, I mean, I think there's probably a lot of them now,
Yes.
because mine was back in the early days of a long time ago. But it would
The
have been
early
like
days,
14 years ago, 14, 15 years ago that I was trying to get knocked up, girl.
the early days of the internet. Is
I
that what
mean,
you're
not the early
saying?
days of the internet, but I think for all of our listeners out there, you should know that both my sister and I were there for the beginning of the internet.
We were literally in the room.
We were in the room where it happened.
Yeah, it was called the computer room,
Yes,
and it was a place that you
dedicated.
went to visit the internet there. Okay,
Yes,
uh, and now we live in it. I
you
saw
went to
something
visit
that
it.
was like, one time you said BRB for the last time.
Or
Now we're always
AFK.
here. Yeah, literally.
No one's ever AFK. We could do with a little more AFK.
We really could. There are weeks where I feel like I just need to stare at the ceiling or into the open sky
Mm,
for like an hour, but I do that for 2 minutes and then I'm like, okay, well, I got to order groceries and I think we're out of paper towels and we're doing a party this weekend. Did I get enough candles? What are we feeding these people? And then back to my phone, back to the internet.
okay, well I didn't like your story.
Sorry. That makes sense. That actually tracks with literally everything that is happening this week. You're like, well, I hate that. Okay. No.
Yeah, it was like your story fell flat with me. I didn't feel good. But yes, so we are just moody bitches right now. And you can
Clearly.
like I don't know how you feel about it, but have you seen that movie Split?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if
Is
no
that
one's
yeah.
seen it, go see it. James McAvoy,
Yes.
who is probably one of the most attractive mans I've seen in a long time. No?
Okay. I
Wait,
mean, all I can
no?
think about is Patricia, and I'm like, that's what you're into. You're into Patricia,
Why not?
maybe.
I mean, don't yuck my yum, girl. What the hell?
That wasn't me. That was Patricia.
But yes. So anyway, back to the movie. If you haven't seen Split, it is about a person who has dissociative identity disorder and many different alters living within them. And one of them, one of the most memorable alters, is Patricia,
Yep.
and she's just a psychotic bitch. And whenever I feel this feeling come over me at a certain time of the month, I can tell Patricia's on her way. I can like feel her calling ahead, like, hey, bitch, I'm coming. I hate everything you've done here. Your room sucks. Your face is ugly. Your clothes don't fit. Like, I can hear, I'm like, no, Patricia, take your time. And she's like, I'm running. And it's like, oh,
Literally, it's
oh,
it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I
it's a
know.
struggle. And ideally, what should happen when Patricia comes is nothing. Like everyone should leave me alone, but also do things for me without irritating me.
Exactly. It doesn't. It's like literally not that hard. Feels like
It's
it
not
shouldn't
that
be that
hard.
hard.
Don't make eye contact.
Mm,
Don't ask too many questions or any. Just leave the food at the door, take care
mm-hmm.
of everything in the home, and I will see you in 3 days.
Yeah,
That's it. I'll see you in
that's
3 days.
it.
Let me watch a little reality TV, eat some salty snacks, then a sweet snack, then a salty snack and a sweet, and just
Ooh, like M&Ms in. Oh, not M&Ms. Reese's Pieces in popcorn.
oh gosh, are you that person? I don't like peanut butter chocolate in popcorn. Your face right now.
It's
See?
so tasty.
Why am I being so
That's,
mean to you? There's like
I
no
don't know.
reason. Patricia.
Patricia, literally, relax. You just said that you like salty and sweet. And that is literally a salty and sweet. Oh, I made the mistake of putting peanut butter in it. I am such a dumb,
I
dumb,
know,
dumb.
dumb bitch. Like Patricia's like, well, try again. You're stupid. I know I said that, but seriously, that's how Patty is. Oh, she's like, don't call me Patty. But it's just like how it is. And so I thought it would be helpful for those with and without uteruses, because I know this is something that with my therapy clients who have uteruses, we always track. And a lot of them have
Mm-hmm.
come in and they don't know how to even start tracking because again, we're not taught that as a thing, right? Which is crazy because like we're given all these equipments and they're like, just do whatever. We don't care. We don't care. Just but make
Yeah,
sure you have babies. But like after that, like we don't care. Stumble around. But anyhow, it's important to track because something
yeah.
that will happen, especially if you are dealing with any type of brain chemical situations or anything like that, when you hit your luteal phase, that is when you will lose your shit every month. Like you can track that. Like if you're a person that struggles with suicidal ideation and you have a uterus, it's pretty telling that 3 weeks out of 4 you can handle yourself, and then that 1 week you're like I can't anymore
Yeah.
because what ends up happening is you have a massive drop in testosterone. Okay, so your will to live exits, generally speaking, right? You're just like
Left the chat.
no.
I know. That was literally us yesterday. What I was like, I'm so
So
sad.
so just
Yeah.
just and everything's just stupid.
Right. But the sun will come out.
We know it does it every time, and I think what's really irritating is right before the luteal phase is that phase where you're like I'm so hot
Yes.
And you're like rubbing up your rump on
Mm-hmm.
everybody. You're like, ooh, you want some? You want this?
Yep. And yeah. So
Oh, yes.
it's yeah, it can be very challenging, especially if you found yourself like in a good routine and you're feeling positive and you're like, yeah, everything is great. And then yesterday I was like battling with myself in my head over like the dumbest thing. And I was finally like, just have a cocktail, Amanda. Like if you're gonna be like, don't have a cocktail, Amanda. Don't do that. Then you're just now I'm just having an internal struggle.
You're just fighting with yourself.
Yes, because
It's you and Patricia.
there are days where I have the resolve to be like, all right, today we're going to eat enough protein. We're going to drink our water. We're going to do this. We're going to exercise. We're going to do all these things. They're going to make us feel nice and happy and fulfilled. And when none of those things are hitting, it's like, what is literally wrong with me?
Nothing.
Just your hormones, baby. You're
Just your
perfect.
hormones, baby. So for our uterus bearing listeners, and also for those without, because understanding how women's bodies work will help all people. And while we're talking on the subject, women would like control of said bodies, which we live in. Just
Yeah,
saying, right? Okay.
throwing that out there.
So what you're going to want to do is find the first day of your last period. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to find that day. That would be the day you started bleeding. And that's going to be the start of your cycle. Okay. And everybody's cycle is different. Some people don't have regular cycles. Some people have 28-day cycles. Some people have 30-day cycles. So you need to track for a few months to see where you are. But
Yep.
basically, the first day of your last cycle is when you start tracking the phases. So the first phase is the menstrual phase, and that's when you are shedding the lining of your uterus. I feel like I'm doing health class right
That's
now.
great.
Both of your estrogen and your testosterone levels are the lowest. Okay. Low energy, you may have cramping. Like if you have like any like PCOS or anything like that, this is the week where you're like passing out from blood clots and stuff like that, if that's what you're dealing with, and just generally bloated and not feeling good. However, something that will also happen, and we'll loop back to this, is when you start your period, your hormones are at a low level, so you are going to feel usually less ragey than right before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that lasts, like, that's day 1 through 5 of your cycle is menstrual, right? For some people, it's more than 5 days. Sorry that that's true.
Sorry, everyone.
Sorry, everyone. But that's what's happening there. Now, the next phase is, it kind of overlaps with menstruation, right? And this is from 1 to 13. So they overlap a little bit because everything's organic in our body, but this is going to be the follicular phase. Okay. And this is when the uterine lining is rebuilding itself, and then your estrogen is rising. Okay. You're going to have a better mood. Your brain's going to be more clear. You might be like, oh, remember that idea I had last month? Like, oh, let's continue on that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yep.
leads us to party time. Okay. Ovulation.
Entrapment. The
Entrapment. So
body
this
is
will
trying to
this will
trap you.
be day 14 to 16 of your period. And I think you should note that the other days, 1 through 5, 1 through 13, this is 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Your follicular phase, which is the time you would get, oh no, your ovulatory phase, which is the time you would get pregnant, is only a couple days.
Yeah, very short.
So this is when the uterine lining has successfully rebuilt and the egg is ready to drop. Okay.
Ready.
And so you are feeling your most beautiful. You have a peak in your estrogen, your testosterone rises, it's the highest energy, your social. This is the time to plan the time to plan talking to people,
Yeah.
right? And anything intense, right? You will have the energy, you will be ready for it. You're like, come get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that amazing cacophony of delightfulness and feeling like no one was sexier and what's happening, then Patricia arrives for the luteal phase, which is what you and I are in right now. And that is, days 15 to 28. Notice how much that sucks, right? And then this one, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. in this one, this is when your progesterone starts high and then it drops. So
Mhm.
it starts high for the very reason that if you did have a little rendezvous with some sperm, that it would actually continue to go higher, right? Because that's how it would the egg would become fertilized and then be able to be taken care of. You would need a higher um, progesterone. And then what's going to happen is if there is no sperm and egg, little tango, then your progesterone is going to drop whoop, like that. Okay? Because there's no baby this month. And as your punishment, you're going to feel like shit because you didn't fulfill your biological duty of creating a baby this month. You must be
Yeah.
punished.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense.
Better luck next time.
Yeah. Better luck next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions on my presentation?
I think it's so episode 6, right? I almost feel like these 6 episodes have been like in one cycle, right? Because we're like coming right out of it. And man,
Yes.
we had energy when we hit the ground running. We had 2 episodes posted. We were like da, 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 da. And then yesterday I texted you and I was gonna take a screenshot of it because you just answered yes. And the
So
question
what?
wasn't a yes or no question. Or you said yep. Because I was like, what are we gonna talk about tomorrow? And you just said like
No. No, no, no. Here's what I said actually. You asked me what we were going to talk about tomorrow and I said my my energy is not good right now. I'm going to have to reset my energy. I said my head is not in a good place right now and I need to reset my energy and get back to you.
well, I know you said that, but that's funny because that means that you completely missed the first time that I asked you the question and you said yes.
Oh.
And then I rephrased it. And then you answered it. It's like, all right, so
But
what we'll talk about
but
tomorrow.
really,
Good luck. All right.
good
Tim.
luck, babe.
Yeah.
Um you did you when you asked me that question, I was like sitting over there. I'm pointing to my gray rocky chair where I go to be a cocoon and dissociate. And I was sitting in the corner and you texted me that. And when I was texting you back, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna cry. I was like, I'm gonna cry. I was like, she's overwhelmed me so much by asking me the question she asks me every Thursday before we air. It's a very normal question. Why is she stressing me out so much?
Just wondering if you thought about it. Lord forgive a girl try to have a plan.
Everybody wants my brain to do things.
Yes.
And
It's a
then
tragedy, honestly.
having kids during
Ugh.
during the luteal phase is so rude. Actually, having anybody around you who is like not understanding what's going on with you is just really stressful. Because
So
yesterday,
basically, anyone who's not your cat.
yeah, oh my God. See, that's the thing. Baby cat, she knows what to do. She knows what. Oh, shut up. Amanda just rolled her eyes at me because here's the thing. If you follow me personally on Instagram, you will know that pretty much like daily, I'm going to post baby cat in my stories and it's like the same picture every single day because it's just her in my shoulder area loving me in bed because that's what she does every single day. And I just take a picture and share it because I just can't believe I'm so lucky to have her in my life.
And then we just cry like
Made me cry.
a
And she's
little
like, "What's your
bit.
problem?" She's like, "I love you, mom." But anyhow, why was I even saying that? Oh, because baby cat doesn't bother me. But yesterday, uh, I I was you were like, "Oh, what food am I gonna cook for my family?" And I was like, "Oh, I'd literally rather just like roll around on like glass than cook right now."
I mean, I know. I know. But literally the 6 days going up into this, I was cooking like crazy. I was out in the grill. I made like everything that I knew how to make over like a past like week period. And then I was like, well, now you can all starve.
You can now starve.
And I'm not
And
even gonna order dinner because I don't feel like any of the things I can order.
no. And so I was talking to you and I said I'm just going to get them some food like from Chipotle. So when they get back from their respective sports things, they can just eat eat that. Sorry, they can just eat that, and I don't have to worry about this, and my kitchen will stay clean, and yada
Right.
yada yada. So I do that, and just kind of shout out Chipotle. What the hell is wrong with you guys? Because every time I place a pickup order, you put the smallest amount of meat in those bowls. Like it is not even weighted, right? And my kids only want rice and meat. So now I see what you're doing, right? Like you have a real problem. It's $13 for half a cup of meat and 1 cup of rice, which, you know what? Shame on me. I need to start making this at home and just like get the bowls and have the boys think that I
It's $13 so that you don't have to clean your kitchen.
right. And I actually did go get it and not like I didn't do DoorDash or something. But
Yeah.
regardless, I did that for that very reason, just to like not be that way. And I'm trying to be in bed at like 9:30. I'm like in my bed, and then it's 10 o'clock, and I hear them in the dining room crunching, bags opening, clanking. Hum, hum.
Wait, it was 9:52 because I was already sleeping when you texted me. And
Yes.
I thought that you were saying that they were eating the Chipotle that
No.
and I was laughing because I was like, well, we can't do anything right today, that's for sure.
No, they already ate the damn Chipotle and then they raided the kitchen. The whole, like, I just was like, and I yelled out to them, I said, for the love of God, close your mouths and make sure you put your stuff away. Like, go to bed. Like, what are you doing? Like, how much do we need to eat? And then Eli comes in and he's like, Mom, we got anything sweet? We got any sweet treats? Do you have any
Oh,
sweet treats? I was
oh,
like,
he
I'm
wanted something
gonna
sweet for his crunchy salty.
I know, Amanda. And I just looked at him and I I think I was okay. I think I said no, go to bed, please.
All you can remember is red because you just had red in front of your
I
eyes. It's kind of like when I'm going to do groceries and I'm like, does anyone need anything from the grocery store? And everyone says cookies. And I'm like, good,
yeah,
perfect,
yeah.
got
So
it.
anyhow, that's what's happening with us this week. Shout out
Yeah.
to everybody else who's luteal phasing. So we're actually running into full moon. I meant to actually talk about that too. A lot of times your cycle, the beginning of your cycle will coincide with a new moon or a full moon.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times. Sometimes you get stuck in between, but I think the ladies of uterus holders out there will kind of back me up on this. It changes, right? Sometimes you're a new moon, and then one day, boom, now you're a full moon, and it will just be that way. Sometimes you're just in the middle, like whatever. But if
Mm-hmm.
what I use this as a hack for is, since I know right now I'm a full moon, when I have on my Google calendar, it tracks the moon phases just automatically. That's a feature on Google. I know when I'm making plans with people to check where the moon is, because I know if I say, "Oh yeah, totally, that Friday sounds so great to get together," and it's like the full moon's right around there, when it comes to that time, I won't want to go. I won't want
Nope.
to, and I probably won't make myself unless it's something very serious where I've bought a ticket, right? Because you don't want Patricia there anyway. So I know to schedule my outward facing things closer to new moon energy, because I will be more delightful and able to do that. So that's just a little hack for you if you
Yeah.
can find out what moon cycle you're closest to, just for tracking purposes. Just
Yeah.
make your life a little easier, right?
Yeah.
Plan
For
ahead.
sure.
Plan ahead. Um,
For sure.
the
It may
other,
feel random, but it's not all that random.
it's not random. It's not random. There's
And
there's a go ahead.
oh, I hate to go back to Chipotle, but I remember when I was living in Pennsylvania and so the boys were young and you had sent me to Chipotle for you and you texted me a list of the ingredients that you wanted, which I was like, all right, sounds good. She wants this, all right. And so I went into Chipotle. I'd never been there before. I wasn't sure what it was. And something about me is like I have to pick a pre-made option of something because if you ask me about substitutions, I don't know what the flavor profile was supposed to be. I will always mess it up. I'll be like, oh, okay, like put olives on that. And then it's like, oh, that'll ruin that. So I need to stick with like the canned options. And then what I also didn't anticipate was that they were going to go through in a certain order, and you hadn't texted me in the order that the ingredients were there at Chipotle as they moved down the line. So I got very scared, and I rushed through this order, and I brought it back to you, and you opened it and you said, "Did you have a stroke?" And I said, "Kind of, kind of." That whole situation made me incredibly uncomfortable. I'm sweating, and you're like, "Okay." Like, you took your phone and you're like, "All right, I'm gonna order it from the app now and go pick it up. Thank you."
No, I didn't.
I did. I went back and picked it up. You wouldn't even eat it.
Well, it must have been really like messed up. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
You
I
know
just
what?
remember I didn't go into Chipotle for so long after that. Scared.
Well, yeah, I mean, nowadays, like I'm listening to that story, and if I were giving anybody an order like that now, like with who I am as a person, I would absolutely say it in the order in which it would be presented, because like that's how my brain works now. But I don't know what was going on with Sarah too much back then, except I do know I had two toddlers under
Mm-hmm.
4, so probably I wasn't running at a great place.
No, and you probably really just wanted your specific Chipotle, and I tried to get it and I failed. And you were like, "That's fine. We can just fix this. I'm not going to eat this trash. We need to rearrange the ingredients in this because they're wrong."
That's a wild time. But yes, so yeah, Chipotle, and that was back when Chipotle put food in the bowl. So just saying.
Yeah, right, right, really. I mean, yeah, literally. Two
Yeah,
scoops,
literally.
maybe.
So also I just want to note that I don't think I've said like once this morning.
I guess we'll see when the transcript gets sent.
Okay, okay, that's fine. We'll see when the transcript. So the other thing that we wanted to talk about that I feel like we said yesterday and now I've forgotten, because you're like, oh, we should talk about that. Oh, I know what it is. Yes.
Done.
So this is random. This is really random. We're like left
Okay,
turning.
hit me
Like,
with it. Let's
so
go.
I have been really enjoying this Instagram account called Canada's Dating Coach. And have been sending things to you, and I don't know if you're watching them, but this is work, Amanda. When I send you reveal, okay, this is work. So it's not just like sister stuff. Like you need to watch them. So anyhow, Canada's Dating Coach, and I found her a while ago because she had some video that went viral of her talking to some guy in a library, and he was asking her like, how do I know if someone isn't interested in me? And she just very gently parented him through that conversation, and with her calm Canadian voice and her sweet little face. And I was like, oh my goodness. Now that I said I wasn't going to say like, I'm saying it endlessly, but
It's fine. You're good. You're good.
so anyhow, I found her because I said, oh, why don't we see what else she's got going on? So she's got a lot going on. She's made a whole thing. She's written a couple books and all of those things. And one of her main things is she will get on TikTok live and debate men about all of the things that men have major issues with, and she is so amazing. And one of the biggest topics that is just very divisive for the guys out there, not the men, because she says the men have no problem with this. This is a non-issue. Guys, on the other hand, and boys, real big issue.
Yeah.
So body count. Body count is a really big issue because a lot of guys and boys think that women get run through, and a high body count isn't good, and that we female people should care about how men feel about that.
What about kissing frogs until you meet your prince?
Well, it's okay for men people to do that, but it's not okay for women to do that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. And so she just obliterates them. And
Yeah.
if you are a person who enjoys that type of thing, I highly recommend shout out to Canada's Dating Coach, because Chantal is her name. She's amazing, chef's kiss. But the other thing she says is she has this idea of not kissing until 3 months after your first date. And her her theory around this is that you shouldn't kiss right away, because the moment that you kiss somebody, you release dopamine and oxytocin and your hormones, and you create a bond based on the dopamine hit, right? So after you do that, you will be chasing that high, and you will be very inclined to ignore red flags because you just want to feel that feeling.
Yikes.
Yikes. And
Uh-oh.
then me looking back at my dating history and how I behave, and I'm like, oh, like, so there, it's not that you shouldn't, but it's something to think about. Okay. So I was in my supervision yesterday with, I'm going to call him my daddy. Hopefully he doesn't ever listen to this and um, think about how weird I am, but he knows. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, of course. I
Okay.
can hear you.
It fell out of my AirPod. So anyway, he's like 70 years old. He's a clinical psychologist, and he's just like awesome. He's, we for an old white guy, he's aces. So what we've been doing in supervision lately is like kind of like, talking about the things I'm going through and all of that. And I told him about this, and he said yes, like absolutely. And he backed up like scientifically that this is a real thing.
Yep.
What was that?
What was what?
Oh, that was your okay. And he backed up scientifically that yes, that is what happens. And the other thing he said is he kind of pushed it even further, and he's like, you really should be observing somebody for 6 months before making any decisions, because you need a stretch of time to see them in many different situations, to see how they react to things, to know if that's okay with you. And so many times when we date somebody, it's like you feel stuck in however they react to things, right? And that's
Yeah.
what we were talking about yesterday. You and I think we were talking about this, where a situation where like you're with your partner and they're freaking out about something, and I will always, well, and I used to always jump in and manage their emotions, because I know if I don't go manage that, they're going to come back in the house with a bad stinky attitude, and I'm going to have to deal with that. So then I go
Yep.
out there and emotionally regulate them or de-escalate their situation, which usually has nothing to do with me, and
Mhm.
that becomes a function that is exhausting for
Yeah.
me, but
Yeah,
feels
it
like
is.
something I need to do. And what I was telling you yesterday is like, in this new way of looking at relationships, what really should be happening is they can have their little freak out, and I need to let them have their freak out. And
Yep.
then when they inevitably then re-enter my space with a stanky attitude that I don't want to be around, instead of submitting myself to that agony, I look at them and say, hey, you seem really dysregulated. I don't want to be around you right now. So do whatever you need to do to go handle that. If you want to talk, fine, but go handle that or leave. And
Yep.
I'll see you when you feel better,
Yeah.
because I don't want to deal with that. And isn't that kind of training the other person to also realize that they can't do that to you?
Mhm. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I know. Honestly, yeah, it's hard. That's very hard. And this is making me think about how we as a society separate friendships and dating, right? We have the two
Ugh.
buckets. You're either a friend or you're someone that I want to be in a romantic relationship. And it's like, shouldn't you want to be a friend with this person first before you want to get into a romantic relationship with them, and then potentially spend the rest of your lives making decisions together and, pushing and pulling, ebbing and flowing.
Touching your
Something
private
to think
parts.
about. Something to think about.
It's something to think about, and I am thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it too.
Are you guys thinking
Are
about
you
it? Like,
guys
think
thinking
about
about
it.
it?
Yes, and the other thing um that is part of this, if you want to like jump into astrology a little bit,
You want to
okay, just
bring the moon and the stars into this.
if you want to
Go
bring
right
this,
ahead.
yeah, bring the planets in. So if you're looking at your chart and you look at your Venus and you look at your Mars, traditionally, your Venus is going to be your relationship planet, and your Mars is the planet of war. So that's going to be passion, fighting, sex, okay?
Mhm.
Sparks explosive energy. We are taught in this society to go after your Mars match. Like that's how you identify a potential mate, is by the sparks and the
Yeah.
sexual attraction. That's the first thing you look for. Now, very rarely does someone's Mars planet, like Mars sign, and Venus sign simpatico together. Okay?
Mm.
Because they're
Okay.
very, if you think about it, they're literally opposite vibes.
Yeah.
And Venus of relationships is not just romantic relationships, it's your relationship style with people. So
Mhm.
anybody who you're going to form any type of partnership with, if that's your style.
Yeah.
So if you are sexually attracted to explosive Aries energy, okay, you might become very sexually attracted to someone who pops off all the time and starts fights at bars, right? You're like, oh, this guy,
Ooh,
oh,
interesting.
he's doing it
Ooh,
for me.
it's
You're like, this is
ABT. Always be thinking,
always
Sarah.
be thinking, yes. And so you're
Dang.
like, Dan, like this volatile motherfucker is hot. Like, I
Hot.
can't wait. I can't wait. But your Venus, right, might be in Cancer. And in relationships, you like cozy, nurturing home body energy. You want
Ooh.
somebody who's going to support you and like be with you and create this nest of a home, right?
Mhm.
So you bring this Aries Mars motherfucker into your space, and that's who you've attracted. That's sexy to you. It turns you on, right? But once you start to have an actual like partnership and relationship with this person, they are not meeting your needs at all. And then you're like, wow, the more I get to know you, the less sexually attracted I am to you. And that's because you're sexually attracted to the part of them that is completely unregulated.
Yeah. Whoa. Ugh. Whoops.
So, in other words, astrology is backing up this 3-month rule because it's
Mhm.
basically saying don't run at people with your genitals.
Is it 3 or 6 months?
So Chantel, my dating coach, says don't kiss until after 3 months.
After 3
And
months.
my supervisor said take 6 months to observe
Take 6
before
months. Okay.
making, that kind of thing. He wasn't giving such a directive about physical intimacy as Chantel was, but he's also not a dating coach. So
Right, 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 right. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's
So
the same thought. I mean, the same thinking
the
and the
same
same.
idea. And I think
Yeah.
we're really building a very organically laid case here for why these things are. And if you want to layer it on even more to loop it back to the beginning, right? You would
Mhm.
say that if you meet somebody who satisfies your Mars energy during your ovulatory phase, you might be in a lot of trouble, girl. You might be in big trouble. Now,
You
if
in
you meet
danger, girl.
somebody, yeah, if you meet somebody during your luteal phase who doesn't drive you insane, maybe that's something to look at.
Damn. ABT. Always be thinking. Always be thinking. And on that note,
I think which is good, this is actually really funny, but wasn't it ABL, always be learning?
yes, that's why I just said ABT because now we're ABT. Always be thinking.
Oh, Suzette is here, and Suzette says
I
when you
saw
girls hit Suzette says when you girls hit menopause, it won't be interested in any of that shit.
Until then, we'll just
Until
keep hanging
then.
around. I mean, what I would say is that is great advice. I would probably tell you not a single person is going to take it, but it's good to know that that's what you should be doing because then if you don't do it and you're like, why didn't that work out? It's like, bitch, we told you.
Yeah, you
We
told
need to
yourself.
pump the
And
brakes. We need to find a balance between kicking the tires and finding a real long-term partner. You're sorry, my sister is making a really funny face at me. She's smirking now.
it's because I'm thinking of kicking the tires, like just like walking around some person you're sexually attracted to, just like kicking their
Kicking their
legs.
ankles. Just kicking their ankles. Like, what the? And like, what? Too weak. We don't like
Where's
weak ankles.
yeah,
I need
you
a
seem
man with
weak.
strong ankles around here, okay?
Or a woman.
Or a woman. I just need strong ankles.
Strong ankles. And I shouldn't be able to dead leg you so easily.
All right, sis. Well, this has been
On
a
that
pleasure
note.
as always. On that note,
On that note.
good luck to literally everyone, ourselves included.
Yeah, especially if you have a uterus.
Yeah, and remember that if you're feeling this way, just your hormones, you're probably in a cycle. Start tracking day 1 and then see, you know?
Amanda, I think we should end this episode with a little jingle from Daniel Tiger.
You ready on the count of 3?
Mm-hmm. If you're feeling mad and you wanna roar, just take a deep breath
and count to 4.
4. That was horrifically done. Apologies to everybody.
Listen, whatever your recollection is of the cadence of that song, it applies, okay? All right. Peace, sis. Love ya.
Everybody. Love ya. Bye.
Bye.